The Nigeria Basketball Federation Men's Premier League Basketball League Final 8 is scheduled to take place from the 29th of August to the 6th of September in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, after months of competition across the Atlantic and Savannah Conferences. Now, the top 8 teams have secured their places in the decisive playoff phase. Now, the Atlantic Conference will be represented by Mak Town Flyers, Rivers Hoopers, Hopes and Reed, and Lagos Raptors. Savannah Conference qualifiers are also Aso Sky Hawks, City Chiefs, Kano Pillars, and 313 Warriors. Now, the final 8 to determine the 2026 national champion, with Kano Pillars also targeting qualification for FIBA Africa Basketball League. All right, joining us at this time to talk about basketball, and of course, to look at everything happening in the world of basketball. Kenneth Ujah is joining us this morning. Kenneth, thank you so much for joining. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, good morning. Thank you for having me.
All right, Kenneth, another time for the final 8. I mean, we saw what happened last season. It wasn't what Rivers Hoopers expected at their home front. Now, another round of final 8. But this time around, we're seeing quite interesting teams coming up to make the final 8 from the Savannah Conference and even from the Atlantic Conference.
Yeah, it's going to be an amazing playoffs. You know, 8 teams are going to be battling for who we make the top 4. They call it the final 4. It's going to be an entertaining final 8. You know, basketball in Nigeria, the teams are improving. We're having private investors coming to basketball right now. We have solid 8 basketball team in Nigeria. So the final 8 is going to be a very interesting one. And then the final 8 going back to Port Harcourt, you know, last year, Mak Town Flyers, who represented as as Lagos Legend, you know, they went into Rivers and then defeated Rivers Hoopers. You know, that was a shock to even the host team, and a lot of things are going to change. Now we have Aso Sky Hawks, who are also an expansion team, which is a new team. We have the 313 Warriors, who is also a new team coming into the league. We have old powerhouse, Kano Pillars, you know, trying to see how they can establish themselves. So we have Boko City Chiefs, who for the 4th straight year are looking to see how they can finally get the title. It's going to be a really, really exciting final 8.
All right, who should, I mean, you've talked about, the teams and stuff like that. Of course, Mak Town Flyers, we know what they did last season, and of course, representation in BAL. Do you think that Rivers Hoopers can get back the title they lost last season, or will it be Mak Town Flyers all the way? I know you have a bias for the club, of course, but what do you think will play out this time around? Looking at the players' addition, what they've played so far in the regional aspect of basketball before getting to the final 8.
Rivers Hoopers are going to have their hands full, you know, this season. If you're talking about Mak Town Flyers, we have a new expansion team that won the Savannah Conference, which is the Aso Sky Hawks, right? Now, you can see that we're no longer talking only about just the BAF representatives and the last year defending champions, Mak Town Flyers. We moved on from that story. We have a new powerhouse in town called the Aso Sky Hawks. Now, the Aso Sky Hawks have their eyes set on the title. The Aso Sky Hawks are going to be coming out tough, which is a team that everybody should be looking out for. We also have Boko City Chiefs, right, who has finished third back-to-back, and then they also finished second about 3 years ago, who still have their eyes focused on the goal. So we have these teams who are locked in, looking at not just so Rivers Hoopers shouldn't just be looking at Mak Town Flyers. They have their hands full. And Kano Pillars, like you said earlier on, are looking to re-establish themselves back in the league. So there's going to be a lot of firepower. There's going to be a lot of hustle. There's going to be a lot of action in Port Harcourt when the final 8 starts.
All right, Kenneth, let's move away from the final 8 and talk international basketball. Of course, national team, the Tigers are in the news at this time. Haven't been in Spain, preparing for the World Cup, but it got a bashing. I mean, when it comes to the friendlies, 83-58 defeat to Spain in a high-profile international friendly in Tenerife on Friday. Now, the reigning African champions led 40-36 at halftime, but somehow were overwhelmed after the break as Spain produced a dominant second-half performance. Now, Spain's 3-point shooting proved decisive, with the hosts converting 15 of 27 attempts from beyond the arc to secure a 25-point victory. Now, Victoria McCauley led Nigeria's scoring with 18 points. The friendly is part of the Tigers' final preparations for the 2026 FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup in Germany. Nigeria will also return to action on Saturday, which is today, against Belgium at 8 p.m. West African time, looking to bounce back from the defeat. Now, Kenneth, I know, yes, it's pre-season or it's pre-tournament friendly, but it's giving signs that maybe we might struggle in the World Cup proper. I mean, we're losing a grip against Spain. Haven't led at halftime. I don't know what happened, but somehow the ladies took off their leg from the throttle and they were beaten like, I mean, in PG, like they stole something or they thieved something.
As you said, the stat sheet don't always say every single thing about a game. You see, the Tigers started the game fantastic. They led through 2 quarters. They led in the first quarter, led in the second quarter. Now, the Spanish team had to respond, in the third quarter, right? This is why preparation is good. This is why we're seeing these kind of things come early before the female World Cup. These are things that Coach Rina Wakama is going to be looking at. We have a good first half, but what happened in the second half? What kind of adjustment are we going to make? They came out, the Spanish team came out shooting a lot of threes in the second half, which is, we did a lot of scouting report going into that game, and we're not expecting them coming out to shoot a lot of threes, in the third quarter, and then the game slip away. The final result don't always tell everything that happened in the game. So you could see that the final result happened with them, having that kind of margin. But it was a really, really close, contested game from the way we played in the first half. And then we lost focus in the second half, which is very good because, like you said, it's a preparation game. And adjustments are going to be made. We're taking on Belgium tonight, and then we can see how we can make those adjustments and see how we can refocus and get ourselves back in tonight's game.
All right, let's look at individual performances in the team. Victoria McCauley finished as Nigeria's leading scorer with 18 points. What positives can the coaching staff take from the individual performances despite the heavy defeats? Of course, there are 1 or 2 things to take from the game.
Victoria has always been fantastic. Victoria McCauley has always been fantastic. When we defeated France to qualify in our last World Cup that we ended up not attending, she was fantastic. And she took a break from the national team, came back, and then they won the Afro basket. And right now, Victoria is looking like somebody that can also lead us in the paint and outside. She plays inside and outside, and that's very good. It's a good thing that she's having, her form. We saw what she did with Afro basket, So right now, we just need other teammates. We need Ezine Kalo. We need Palace. We need Morija Musa to just step up and just join, to what Victoria is doing. And then, we're back up there. And we're still expecting, we still have Elizabeth Balogun. We still have Emil Konko. We have a lot of talent, All these guys just need to, step up and then join what Victoria is doing. And then we're going to be successful.
All right. Before I let you go, I want to ask, beyond these friendlies we've played, from what we played in Asia now to Europe, what are the biggest areas the Tigers must improve upon? Now we're seeing that Spain are having a very good at 3-pointers, even from the arc. They just throw the ball and then it's into the net. I remember at the Paris Olympics in 2024, it required Ezine Kalu sometimes to just look for ways she can just go through and put that 3-pointer. She's not doing that. We were looking at someone else, but what areas do you think Nigeria can improve upon before getting to the World Cup in Germany?
Of course, we need to improve in our 3-point shooting. Victoria has been fantastic playing in and out, but we need Elizabeth. Elizabeth just got a job with one of the WNBA teams, but we're hoping that when she joins the team for the World Cup, she's going to be fantastic. We have Emil Konko. We just need to improve our shooting because we struggled against, shooting teams. So that means we need to, first of all, find a way to contend our shooting, first of all, by playing good defense, and also improving our shooting because we happen to score a lot of points in the paint, because we know how to move the ball. Coach Rina is very, very good having the team run different kind of action that gets us points paint. But right now, we need to also be fantastic shooting from the outside to try to see how we can catch up because, you score a lot of inside points and the team comes out and scores 3-point. And before you know, they're already ahead. So we need to also improve our shooting as well as defend any team that's a shooting team.
All right, Kenneth, thank you so much for joining.